So I'm in the middle of this class, and as I said, we're doing jump squats, split jumps. There's a lot of core. There's some very, very basic gymnastics things that are put into place of this. And while I'm doing those, I'm not just struggling. Like, I absolutely just sucked. I couldn't do the moves. I couldn't breathe. I could barely hold myself in a bear crawl at that time. So we start going to Anytime Fitness, and upstairs they have this fight area where they had bags, they had a ring, speed bag, all these different things. So we'd go up there and we would train. And based on that was just working some bags, doing some different techniques. Well, one day, this is the first time that I'd met Ali. And Ali was teaching classes up there. He had a fight class and a sports conditioning class. So we talked to Ali, and in his absolutely incredible and amazing way of motivating, said, hey, you should come basically learn how to kick properly. And at that time, maybe you can trim down and get into shape. So Anthony, who was going to Anytime Fitness with me, was actually in the fight class of Ali, and I went to the sports conditioning to check it out. So it's my first time gonna go in and check this out. So I go into that class thinking I'm training every week. This is, sports conditioning. That's been my life. This isn't gonna be any issue at all. About 15-20 minutes in, I can tell you that I'd probably been pushed mentally to a level that I had not been pushed through since 3-a-days when I was in high school. And through that process, I had to come to a conclusion in 2 to 3 different ways. The first thing is I was not in the shape that I thought that I was in. Second, it was such a humbling experience that it ignited a fire inside of me. So first class, we're introduced to bear crawls, jump squats, split jumps, anything that anyone who has trained with me, those are the core elements of the first things that I'm going to teach you. And you also know that it's some of my favorite elements or just training sessions for functionality, speed, and agility. Well, because I created this love-hate relationship with those 3 particular exercises. So in Ali's class, if you mess up in form, this means that when you can't breathe and you're hallucinating and your glycogen levels are spent, he starts to ask you what stance are you supposed to be in. And for some reason, the brain has a funny way of playing tricks on you. When it doesn't get enough oxygen, you can't remember. So you stumble through your words or you say things that you don't mean, which means you get jump squats. And every time that you make a mistake or don't know the form, it's a very motivating way to make sure that 2 things. 1, you do the form correctly. And number 2, that you know what the heck it is that you're doing and what's the purpose behind it. So needless to say, in the very beginning of the classes, I received a lot of jump squats. Up that class, and again, complete honesty. It took everything in me not to walk out and not to quit. It was that difficult and that hard for me in that moment. So a couple things when I went home. The first thing is, I said it's never going to happen again. I'm never going to be put in a position where I literally mentally have to make a decision for something that should have been so easy for me. Push me to the brink. And I remember Ali came upstairs, and he was only up there for about 15, 20 seconds. He just had to come grab something because he was working with one of his clients. And I was doing bear crawls. And I had not shown him anything. Like, as a matter of fact, if I'm him, I would have thought I was a pretty lousy representation of athleticism as well as some other things. And what it really came down to is at that moment, I earned his respect in a way, and I'm not speaking for him, but in a way it was like, hey, you know, you have to admire someone that's willing to come back and that's willing to tough something out. I have to say that the gratitude and how truly blessed that I've been just to get to know Ali, much less be able to be a distant fraction of those teachings and that ability. Because I had an incredible teacher that imparted some knowledge into me, and I just followed through on that knowledge. And then I had the mindset to never stop. You can achieve anything that you want in this world. You can explore every capability at any moment of your life, whether you're 10 years old or you're 85. Every day is whatever you make of it. And we need to cherish these moments and cherish the people that are in our life and truly let them know how much they mean to us and how they've been able to change not only our lives, but every single person that we come in contact. With that, thank you. You guys keep flowing.